trying to beat the sun up. Grinding hard for mine to see a meal before my sun's up. All I'm saying is I'm trying to get my funds up. Gotta stay strapped.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining in of another episode of Run It Back, where we highlight the area's greats from yesteryear. And this episode will be nothing short of just that. You know, like I tell you guys, it's a history lesson in the making. You know, we like to bring on the ones that paved the way for the younger generation. You know, for the younger generations need to see some of the greats that used to grace the playgrounds and the basketball courts and all the high schools within the city, because Waterbury is such a rich basketball town. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm pleased to welcome Reverend Guy Riddick from Sacred Heart High School, Waterbury, Connecticut. How you doing?
All right, doing good. How you doing?
I'm blessed. Thanks for, blessing us with your presence, and like I tell everybody, this is gonna be a history lesson in the making today.
All right. Hey, before we get started, congratulations, sir. I understand that you're the president now of the usher board here at Grace Baptist. So we're gonna flip it just for a minute here.
Yes, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right.
So Reverend Riddick, if you could just, tell, myself and our listeners, like, how did the realm of sports get started for you?
The realm of sports got started for me just watching others play ball.
Okay.
Around the city, playgrounds. Got a basketball and I was playing in my backyard. It was a dirt yard and no basket. Had a garbage can.
Okay.
A metal garbage can.
Okay.
That's where my start came from.
That's the basket.
Yeah, that was the basket. Had to make sure there was no garbage in it. But that was
right, that's the basket.
But then from there, it just progressed. I fell in love with the game. And then in grammar school, and I was attending Carrington School here in the city.
Okay.
And when I was at Carrington, made the sixth grade team. And at the same time, I took up swimming.
Okay.
So I was proficient in both, and I had to make a choice when I got to high school because they wouldn't let me do both.
Really?
So yeah, high school in grammar school I was on the swim team at the Boys Club, sixth grade team at Carrington, two different leagues at basketball leagues at the Boys Club. So I had to make a choice though. So I decided on basketball, kind of forgo swimming at that point.
Okay.
But it turned out to be probably the best choice.
That was the best choice. But let me ask you something now. Was it like an athlete couldn't play dual sports or just those two?
Well, those two the seasons ran at the same time.
Got you. Okay.
So you couldn't do both.
Right.
Because
You
of
had
the
to,
season.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if swimming ran after basketball,
You would have been able to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay. So was it always in the cards for you to go to Sacred Heart?
Actually, I was slotted to go to, let's see, in my district, I think I would have went to Kennedy.
Okay.
And it was funny because my house, because corner Camp and Orange, Camp Street, I believe, was Kennedy. Orange Street was Crosby. And I didn't want to go to either one.
You ain't gonna.
I just had in my mindset. I just told my mother. I said I want to go to Sacred Heart, and luckily for me, my brother was already in. My older brother. Okay. And since he was in, and I didn't take the entrance exam, I went down, talked to the guidance counselor, and they interviewed me, and that's how I got in. I never took the entrance exam for Sacred Heart.
Oh man, just the interview.
It was just the interview.
You sold one to interview.
I guess so. Maybe they get to see that here.
Yes. So like when you go into Sacred Heart, when you got your heart set on Sacred Heart, are you thinking sports at that point?
At that point, because I was when I was playing at Carrington, 8th grade team, my last year there, Had a great year.
Okay.
Interesting enough, because this is going to lead up to everything else. Carrington never had a gym.
Okay.
We had to play. We had an all-purpose room that we practiced in, but our games were played at Bunker Hill down the street.
The games played at Bunker Hill.
Yep.
How do you practice without a gym though? Like with passing?
They had an all-purpose room, and they had these baskets that we would wheel out.
Oh.
So we could practice there.
Oh.
But we couldn't play there because it wasn't a gym.
It wasn't okay. It wasn't an official gym.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So remember that. That's going to come into play later on down the
It's
road.
gonna come into play. Okay, so you go to Sacred Heart. Now, are you familiar with some of the guys that's kind of like already on the team and stuff like that?
When I went to Sacred Heart, I was familiar with some that played in the past.
Okay.
Pete Eason, loved watching Pete Eason. I remember
Yes.
watching him when I was in grammar school. My cousin Donald Booker
Okay.
went there. He wore the number 12, so in my sophomore year, I got pulled up from JV to varsity, and I took the number 12.
You took the number 12.
Now, my cousin Donald at one point set the consecutive free throws, and I think at that time it was like 33 in a row
Okay.
that he had made. So I was, I wore that with pride.
Yeah.
Even though I couldn't hit foul shots like him, but I wore that with pride. And once I came up in my sophomore year, the middle of my sophomore year to varsity, never went back.
Never went back. Wow. So you got some varsity time early.
Yes, I did.
Well, so what would you say was your knack back then? Like, what was kind of like your strong suit?
My strong suit, even though I wasn't playing this in my sophomore year, more my junior year, I developed into a strong point guard.
Your sophomore year.
Yep.
Okay.
So I was just taking control, running the offense, getting everybody involved, and that was my niche. Could score also, but I wasn't noted as a scorer because they really needed me at the point at that point.
Okay. They needed that floor general.
Yep.
Okay. Now, did you play freshman?
I played on the freshman team my freshman year.
Okay. Now, how did you guys do?
We did pretty well. Ed Generali from the boys club.
Okay, Ed Generali. Okay.
He was the coach at that time.
Oh.
But we did pretty well. I think we lost maybe 2-3 games all season for the freshman team. We were up and coming.
Now, not to cut you off, but did your freshman team kind of like, did y'all grow together?
Interesting enough, the freshman team, most of the players on the freshman team did not stay up until varsity.
Okay.
A few did, but not many. But the freshman team that came after us was the one that grew into
with you guys.
Right, and most of those that came the year after me were from Driggs School. Mark Butler, Greg Yates, Jesse McIntosh, even Bob.
Bob, yeah.
He came in that class, so they literally grew into that. So and then we started to just started to flourish from that point on.
Got you.
Now, if you notice, the people I mentioned, no height.
No.
We're all the same height, 5'10".
So y'all was deep in the guard position.
Yeah. Well, Bob played forward.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Wow.
He played small forward.
And he was like a 2 or 3 star athlete. Okay.
But he played small forward.
Small forward.
I played power forward. Wow. I'm only 5'10".
So this must be your junior year.
No, my senior year. My junior year, we did have some height because the seniors in front of me.
Okay.
But my senior year, no height. I played power forward.
Wow.
And at 5'10", I ain't got no business being under the boards like that. So.
Wow. Okay. So so your sophomore year though, you're suiting up for varsity. Obviously, you're getting some time. And how are you doing in that role though, the point guard role?
And in my sophomore year, it was a little bit. I played a little bit point guard, but I played more of the off guard.
Okay.
One of the things that I really took took to heart because back then in my sophomore year, Stevie Johnson,
Oh, he still was there.
he was still at Crosby, and I had to guard him. And he would tell me, I mean, he got his points, but he would always say, he said, you know, you were one of the toughest defenders that ever played me.
Really?
He said, and I only played against him 1 year.
Wow.
But he said, you were, and I mean, for 1 year, and I only played him because we only played him twice.
So you were a sophomore.
I was a sophomore. He was a
And
senior.
that's a huge assignment.
Yep.
Like you talking about you're actually you got the assignment of trying to slow down one of the greatest scorers to ever come out of Waterman.
Exactly.
Wow.
I didn't stop him.
You slowed him down.
But it slowed him down enough, and he said, I don't.
Okay.
He said, I don't like playing against you. He said, I'm glad I'm gone now, so I don't have to deal with you no more.
Really? Nice.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, at that time though, are you hanging your head high on defense, or just one of the things that kept you on the floor?
I was a real student of the game when it came to defense.
Okay.
One of the things is with defense is your footwork. It's not your hands or anything, it's your footwork. You've got to have good footwork playing defense. And I became proficient at drawing an offensive foul.
Got you.
There were not many teams that came by me that I didn't at least get 1 or 2 offensive fouls
Really?
in a game. Yes.
Okay.
And actually, my further on, because that was Sacred Heart anyway. Like my finish up with Sacred Heart because my senior year we were doing so well, even though we had no height. Struggled a little bit during the season, but then when we came into the state tournament, we just went on a run. In the regular season, Crosby back then you had Mark White.
Mark White.
Yep. Johnny Kidd, you know, they were loaded.
Yeah.
Crosby. And so you had, we drew them first round at the tournament. Now, they had already beat us twice.
First round in the States?
In the States.
Okay.
It was a new setup. So they had already beat us twice in the regular season.
This your senior year?
Yep.
Wait, did you guys qualify for the States your sophomore and junior year?
Every year.
Every year. So okay.
Every year we qualified. But that particular year, Crosby, the first time we played them, they beat us by 20. Second time by 30.
Wow.
And we drew them first round in the States.
What are you guys thinking? Like, man.
I'm like, okay.
Are you thinking, okay, this is gonna be an early exit?
Yeah, I'm thinking, okay, like God, why you do this to us? You know? So, but when we drew them, even though we drew them, we were playing very well as a unit. So we just had this feeling about it. And then when the game started, we went on a run. And I believe at one point when the smoke cleared around the third quarter, we were up by 20.
Oh, up by 20.
And I never forget the coach for Crosby went to these junk defenses because Mark Butler and Greg Yates would just lighten them up.
Oh, man.
So they went to these junk defenses like a triangle and 2.
Okay.
So
trying to slow them down.
Try to slow them down. So they were slowing down Greg and Mark, and then Bop went off.
Ooh.
So now they play 3-man, man-to-man, 2-man zone. I forget who that fourth person was. They started going off.
Wow.
So they played 1-man zone, which was the man that was guarding me, and everybody else man-to-man. Next thing you know, I had just a couple shots, and then they were like, they didn't know what to do with it.
Wow.
So that game, I played with 102 temp. I had the flu that game. Wouldn't tell anyone. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't say anything. I went to the game, and toward the end of the game, I called timeout. We used to joke about our coach, John Gilmore.
Yep.
And he just passed away recently, but great man. But he, when he would get mad at timeouts, he had this one tooth that would fly out, and he would catch it, put it in his pocket.
Oh, man. His tooth?
Yeah. So there was one point I got fouled. I'm at the other end. Everybody walks down to the other end for the foul shot. I'm still laying on the floor back there. I'm just sitting there because I'm tired.
Yeah.
You know, and finally I got up. I walked real slow to the foul line. Before the ref handed me the ball, I called timeout. We came to the bench. Coach said, "Who called timeout?" I said, "I did." He said, "Why?" I took his hand, put it on my forehead. He's like, "Oh my God." He said, "Jesse, Matt, get in there for Riddick." I said, "No, I got to shoot the foul shots first." So I got in. I made the first, missed the second on purpose so I could stay in the game.
Oh man.
Matt came in like 2 minutes later. By that time, I said, "Yeah, we're done."
Yeah.
They weren't coming back. So, but
Wow.
102-10.
Wow. So that's that can go down as the first flu game.
Yes.
We everybody know the Michael Jordan
Now
flu game.
that wasn't flu. That was food poisoning. But yeah, they call it.
They call it the flu game. Yeah. Wow. So that was your senior year, but just to rewind a little bit, you said you guys qualified for the stakes each year, right? Yeah. Now, obviously, your sophomore year, you're not starting.
No.
But are you seeing significant playing time at the guard position?
At the guard position, yes.
Okay.
And we had 4 guards. Forget his first name. It was Wilcox, DeGlinsky.
Yeah, Pete
DeGlinsky, myself, and there was one other guard. I can't think of the name right now, but we had four decent guards in my sophomore year.
Okay.
And, so I was coming off the bench, but saw significant playing time my sophomore year.
Okay. So you said you guys, early on, you said you guys were a relatively small team. Mm-hmm. With your first taste at varsity is at guard. What changes coming into your junior year? Now, are you thinking you're going to be in that same role coming in?
Well, what evolved in my junior year was I moved from that 2 guard into the point guard.
Okay, so now you're a point guard your junior year. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So my playing point my junior year, that's when you had Greg Yates, Mark Butler, Jesse McIntosh, Pop. They all moved up in their sophomore.
Got Brian Lee.
Yep.
Okay.
So Brian Lee was playing small forward at that point, and he was only 5'11", 6 foot.
Wow.
So, but in my junior year, we had Ken Kozlowskis. He was the
big man.
Yeah,
okay.
He was a big man. So, and he was doing very well. He was one we can go to, go into the post, and even bigger guys playing against him, he can get his.
So he pretty much allowed you guys to play your natural position.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So junior year was decent, but it wasn't until like senior year that's when it just kind of took off because we really had to rely on each other because we had no height.
We had no height.
They called us the water rats. So
the water the water rats.
Yes.
With you have Bob, you have Yates. They're right behind you.
Yep.
Right. So, but your junior year, they're sophomores. I'm assuming they're seeing a lot of significant playing time.
Oh yes.
So, how is the nucleus with you guys? Are they seeing guard action, or are you pretty much controlling that pace?
Well, it was because I was pretty much the point.
Okay.
There were times when they took me out, like either Jesse Mack or Greg Yates. They would run the point, but for the most part, I was the point guard.
You was the point. Okay.
But you got to remember, because most of them came from Triggs: Brian Lee, Greg Yates, Mark Butler, Jesse McIntosh, all from Triggs. So when they came together, now you have this nucleus that had been playing together for years, and now they come into Sacred Heart. So
they've all been playing together all that time.
They knew each other.
Exactly.
So it was, I'm the one. I was like the missing piece of the puzzle, like myself and Bob. We had to fit in with them. And,
Got you.
And it just took off from there.
It took off.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So how deep did you before we even get into the postseason? Who were some of your city rivals?
For us, our main rival obviously was Sacred Heart, was Holy Cross.
Holy Cross. I'm about to get there.
Yep. And back then, like my junior year, Clay Johnson was a senior. And just in case he's watching, now look at here, Clay. he know what that means. But they were our rival. You had Clay Johnson, Jim Abramitis.
Yeah. Giorgio.
Yep.
Richardson.
Spencer Harrison.
Spence was still there?
Spencer was still, yeah, because Spencer, I think he was either in my year or the year behind me.
Okay. So he was in that mix too.
Yep.
Ooh,
Yep.
that's tough.
And then Crosby, you had Toby Harrison.
Yeah,
Crosby,
Toby still. Yeah.
Pete Anton, that whole squad there. So
Wow.
it was,
Kennedy, you had Pig, George Washington, Pig,
and
shout
see,
out cousin Pig.
Yep, and I played with Pig in grammar school because he was a character.
Oh, okay.
He was Duncan in grammar school. Oh yeah.
Get out of here.
Pig was tough.
He was Duncan then?
He was Duncan then. Yep. Oh yeah.
Wow.
So that's kind of, because as a point, and because Pig was a year ahead of me, so as a point at Carrington, I'm dishing the ball to him.
Right.
So that's that was my first taste of giving it up to.
Oh yeah, the point guard. Yeah. Wow. It's funny you brought up Holy Cross. And Holy Cross and Sacred Heart, it always kind of like seemed like that was like a rival between the two Catholic schools. Yep. Tell us about this that 53-52 loss that you guys. It was a nail biter, action packed. It was like a full house, and you guys.
I'm trying to remember. Now, what year was that?
77.
So that was my junior year, which was.
That's when you guys had Lee, Yates.
Yeah.
I think that game, Lee.
But I think that was the game at Crosby because the one at Holy Cross they won by like 18, I think.
Okay.
But the one at Crosby, it was a nail biter.
Yeah.
And Holy Cross always had that edge on us for some reason back then. Different years it would flip.
Okay.
Some years Sacred Heart would, but that year they had that edge. I mean, you had Abramitis, you had Clay Johnson. Clay ended up going to UConn. I forget where Abramitis went. Did he go to UConn?
I thought he went to UConn too.
He went to UConn too. Yeah. So you got D1 ball players.
Yeah.
On Holy Cross, we had no D1 ball players.
Okay.
So that was part of it why they had that edge.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
We played them tough, but that 1 point loss, that stung.
I like to ask people who kind of like fell in that period of battling Stevie, battling Clay. What was it like knowing you have that assignment of, I got one of the Johnson brothers. Then you got Brucey.
Oh yeah, well, see,
Brucey wasn't he with?
No, he was. Brucey came years later.
He came a couple years
after I graduated.
Okay, all right.
But with Clay and Stevie, and I know Clay is Bunny. But,
Bunny.
But between the two of them, because they have two different games. But Stevie was just. He was much more fluid. Clay was stronger.
Okay.
So they had two different games, and both of them, I didn't want to play either one of them.
Okay.
But a lot of times I ended up on both, and
wow.
It was. One of the things I'm glad is that they both chose different schools.
Imagine playing them like on the same team. You think it would have been that hard to beat if they was on the same team?
It would have been like next to impossible.
Wow.
So, but I'm glad they decided to separate. and each of them made a name for themselves at their own high school.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that year, your junior year, you guys tremendous success. The team is gelling. Now, as you look to the postseason, how do you guys fare as you start getting into playoff?
When we ended up in the postseason, I forget who we drew in the first round, but we won that game. The second round, we drew Middletown,
Okay.
Cornelius Thompson,
Ooh.
who went to UConn.
Yes.
Um,
Corny Thompson.
and that was a complete blowout. There was
Who was it?
it was one of those. I mean, we were there, and that was about it. they just ran right over us.
He said we were there, and that's it.
Interesting enough, my first year of college,
Okay.
my roommate named Vito Walton. You think Vito, but it was black gentleman, Vito.
Okay.
And he was Corny Thompson's backup center.
Ooh.
So he was my roommate my first year of college.
He was your roommate.
Yeah. So and then we talked about the game a lot. You know, we sitting there getting ready to go to sleep at night before class, and we're like, he said, "So guy, I remember you trying to draw them offensive fouls, but it didn't work." I said, "No." I said, "Well, first of all, if Corny was running full speed, which he wasn't, he wasn't running into me full speed.
Oh man.
But I said, if he did, I'm moving out the way. That's one offensive foul I'm not taking.
You're not taking that.
Mm-mm.
So he was a beast.
Oh, he was a scorer. He was very smooth. I don't think he really turned into that beast mode really until he got out of UConn.
Okay.
And then that's when when I saw Corny playing. That's when he really
turned it up.
into the beast.
Okay.
So
Wow.
yeah.
So
but the junior year, like I said, won the first round, second round with Middletown. We were like, when we got there, we're like, okay, where's the cake at for the end of the season? You know?
where's the cake at? Oh man. During this time though, are you playing any Pro Street ball at that time?
Pearl Street, because Pearl Street Summer League, Pearl Street was big. I played in Pearl Street from grammar school all the way through until I graduated college.
Okay. Oh, so you always was
Yep.
okay in there with Pearl Street. Now, if you can recall, who were some of your key teammates that, because a lot of guys, sometimes you play on different teams in Pearl Street, and then obviously the basketball season.
Well, I all the way through my high school years, all the high schools always played together.
Okay.
Your coach just couldn't coach you.
Gotcha.
So there was a different coach, but you're always playing with your teammates.
Yeah.
And at that time, like I said, with Greg Yates, Mark Butler, Dwayne, Brian Lee, they all come together. So that's when we really started gelling.
Got you.
When I got into college, it was a little different story because actually before I got there, that senior year in high school, like I said, we drew Crosby first round.
Mm-hmm.
I forget who we had second round, but we won that game. And then we drew North Haven, and they were ranked in the state at that time.
North Haven?
And we had them, Mark Butler hit a shot, a layup, I think it was like 7 seconds left in the game.
Mm-hmm.
They took the ball out, passed into this guy. He launches from half court.
Ooh.
And before I tell you the ending, his name was Ludwig Urbanski.
Ludwig Urbanski.
Never forget
I was about to say, how do you remember that?
because he hit that shot from half court. And
oh man.
I mean, and all I can remember, because I had fouled out with like maybe a minute and a half left in the game, but when they passed the ball into him, he took a couple dribbles, launched it from half court, and it seemed like it took forever.
It just floated.
And all you heard was the referee yell, "If it goes!"
Oh.
And then all you heard was snap the nets. I'm like, oh no. So
and I know everybody went crazy too.
Their fans went crazy, but that was the quarterfinal round. If we had won that, we would have went to the semis.
Went to the oof.
With no height on our team.
So it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
The L was coming.
Yeah, it was coming, but see, we even felt good about it because I forget who it was that was in the semis. North Haven beat them, but then North Haven lost, I think, that year in the finals.
In the finals.
But I think it was that team, we thought we saw that team and we thought we could beat them too.
Yeah.
So we didn't know anything about North Haven.
Wow.
We just because we weren't worried about it.
Right.
We didn't think we were going to make it that far. But then when we did, I'm like,
It's like, man.
we were like that close.
Ooh.
So
I gotta ask you something. So I don't know if you remember the strike of '77 when they had the basketball. A couple teams wasn't playing. I want to say like the Kennedy, Crosby, maybe even Wilby. A couple of city schools. They was on strike for a few games.
I don't remember that.
And the thing is, I guess one of the main things that they talked about is like some of the schools was on strike, but some of the other ones got to play. So they had some of the players like, Pig, George, they interviewed him and even told Harris, they was talking about how the strike, is impacting them because they want to play, but with them being obviously on strike, the other teams gain more of an advantage because they get to stay fluid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so the concern was, we're just kind of like sitting here antsy. I think the strike lasted maybe probably about 4 games or something like that.
Okay.
That they had to kind of like come back and try to, build those games. And here's the thing: one of the concerns is, okay, what if we was on a 2-game skid? You got the strike, and then now you got to come back and try to find momentum. That's hard.
That's hard.
That's hard.
you're not running together.
Nothing.
You tend to lose that fluidity. Everything about it because no matter what nobody says, basketball's a game of runs. I mean, you get on a run, you get in the zone.
That's it.
Those things weren't happening because of that. So
that's it.
And it's tough.
It's tough, and it's tough. Here's the thing: what's tough about it? When you're, either if you're in the zone and you gain the momentum and then you stop, now you gotta kind of like hard to pick that momentum back up.
Yeah.
Or sometimes if you're in the rut, it's hard to get out that rut.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's tough. The only time I would say that it kind of saves you is if you got a hurt player.
Yes.
And then allows him to heal.
Yeah. That's the only time.
That's the only time it'll save you.
But I don't. As far as for us, well, first of all, we weren't in it, but it didn't affect us because we didn't have any games that were either postponed or canceled. Our season just
kept going.
Yeah.
Okay, so it benefits you guys because you guys kind of, and then you started building traction too.
Right. Exactly.
So you guys, you said you guys played Pro Street together. Do you think that helped build the chemistry going into your senior year?
Oh yes, but Pearl Street helped every one of those high school teams.
Yes.
Every one of them was building the exact same way because you're playing together, even though you're regular season and state tournament. But when you're at Pearl Street and you're playing, it's you don't have your regular coach, so you're really depending on each other. Yeah. So
and you learning the habits too, because now you're playing with them more.
Exactly.
Okay.
There's certain things. My biggest thing, especially playing point, I want to know where they want the ball at. It's not just so much getting them the ball. I want to know where they want it at. So it's one of the, and I used to do this in my backyard. I had this wall that I used to use chalk, and I would, like if I threw a bounce pass and I knew Greg wanted the ball up here.
Yes.
I would draw on the wall and I would throw the bounce pass to make sure it bounced up and hit that square. So
Get out of here.
Which was Greg's height. If it was a big man, obviously I'm not throwing it low to a big man. I want to get it up in a sweet spot that he can deal with. So I literally practice, bounce passes or just regular chest passes. But see, now here's one of the things being a city ball player.
Okay.
We can throw a bounce pass with one hand.
Yeah.
Now, going on to college, it's a little different thing because, my first year I was at, I'm kind of skipping ahead, but my first year was at Western New England College in Springfield. I'm a walk-on. I was recruited.
Okay.
Because being a 5'10" point guard / small forward, you fly under the radar.
You fly under the radar.
So So I get there, and because I jump well, he was playing me at small forward at 5'10", division.
So even in college, he
small forward. I'm a point guard. I said, and I tried to explain that. They didn't want to hear it. So I got hardly any playing time. And I knew I was better than the point guard they recruited.
Gotcha.
But they never gave me a shot. So after the first year, I left.
Okay.
And I scored 2 points at a Christmas tournament in Pennsylvania. And if I hadn't scored those 2 points, I would have still had another year's eligibility.
Wait, just because you scored 2 points?
Took a whole year eligibility away.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I left from there, came back, was at Post when they were junior college.
That was Post D2 now.
Yeah, they're D2 now.
They're D2, but there was a junior college
back then.
Okay.
Pete Eason played for Post.
Okay.
Just, there was, but interesting enough, when my first year there, the coach was Reggie O'Brien.
Coach Reg. Oh, is that when he started coaching at
No,
Post? Or he
no,
was already coaching there?
He was already coaching, but he was also coaching the Wilby girls
The Wilby
at the time.
Girls.
Yep. So he was doing both, but then he heard I was back.
Okay.
He called me at my house because of tryouts, and he said, "Why are you not here?" He said, "I heard you're back in town and you're enrolled at Post." I said, "Yeah, Reg, I got to have knee surgery in December." I said, "I'm not going to, if I'm going to do it, I want to have one good year."
Yeah.
So we talked about it. He said, "Okay, good." He said, "Let's do it." So next year rolled around, tryouts, I'm not there. He called me, "Where are you at?" And I said, "Reg, I got some problems." He said, "Look, tomorrow bring your stuff. Let's see if we can figure this out." I said, "Okay."
Okay.
So I come, we sit in the bleachers and we're talking. "Okay, Guy, what's going on?" "Well, Reg, I hate to say this, but it's like girl trouble."
Okay.
He said, "Who is it you're dating?" He said, "You need to forget about that and come up here." And so we talked it out. And I said, "All right, good." So now so now I get my stuff, go second day of tryouts. So I get my stuff, get out on the court. As soon as I come out there, he said, "You know I'm going to kill you for missing yesterday." I said, "Yeah, that's okay." So but interesting enough, one of my teammates, who is now a WNBA official,
Ooh.
Jeff Smith,
Okay.
and had a great year with him. We've been close even now. But he was about 6'1", and literally could fly. I mean,
Wow.
dunk over anybody.
And he was 6'1".
6'1". Oh, we called him J Slam, and it fit.
J Slim.
Yep. But as you get older, now I'm really gonna fast forward. I'm gonna come back in a minute. But we had an alumni game.
Okay.
At this time, Jeff Smith was refereeing both high school and college, and then eventually he settled in women's college. But at this point, it was both high school and college. Making a name for himself, so everybody knew him.
Mm-hmm.
So when we went back to Post for the alumni game, he said, "Yeah, I'm coming, but I'm gonna be late." So they didn't really arrange who was gonna be on what team or whatever.
Right.
So we just kind of picked teams in the locker room. And I told them, I said, "No, Jeff is on your team. I'm on this one." They said, "But you guys played together." I said, "No, we're gonna play a trick on him." They said, "What?" "When Jeff comes out, get him the ball." Now, two of the current members of the team were
Yeah.
refereeing.
Okay.
They knew who he was. So I said, "When he gets the ball, call anything on him. Travel, offensive foul,
Oh,
whatever
man.
you want. Just call, because he's a ref." So I said, "We're just going to play this joke on him." So they were like, "No, that's not fair. If we do that, you're going to have the ball. You're going to score." "No, I'm playing point. I'm going to throw the ball away. So we want to keep doing this."
Yeah.
So first time down, Jeff gets the ball, takes one step,
Travel.
travels. Next time down, they get on the ball. He drives past the guy. His arm is out straight, and they call offensive foul. I'm like, okay, that's good. So this happened like 4 or 5 times. So now Jeff is like, they get on the ball and he just stopped and he just passes it away to someone. He's like, no, you're not calling nothing else off. So now they scored that time, and then I get the ball and I'm walking up court and I'm laughing hysterically inside. I'm not showing it. But I get to half court, I couldn't take it anymore. I just fell out. They stopped the clock, came over with the microphone, and they said, what's going on? So I said, Jeff Smith, you've just been punked.
Because he was wondering like how he get these calls.
He was wondering how that was happening. But it was, we had a great year. That was a springboard for me. Playing at post, we played one game was against Eastern Connecticut State's JV team.
Okay.
There was a school playing the varsity that night, Southeastern Mass University. Their assistant coach came in the locker room, said, we saw how you ran the point. We want you to run the point for us.
Wow.
So
at the game?
At the game, literally. They're in our locker room. The assistant coach is in our locker room while their team is warming up. And now, I didn't know the name of the school, and I didn't know they were playing.
Yeah.
But all I knew is that he came and he gave me a card. It was gold. It was woven with soft material, and it said SMU Corsairs. And area code was 617.
Okay.
All I knew from Massachusetts, because Connecticut had one area code.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I let it, this was culture shock to me because I knew 413, and I thought that was all of Massachusetts.
Right.
So when I looked at the card and I'm looking at this man, he's talking to me like he wants me, and I'm like, okay, but what you doing all the way up here? And he's like, what are you talking about? I said, SMU? He said, oh, you think we're Southern Methodist. I said, yeah. He said, no, we're Southeastern Mass University. We're a little Division III school. I said, okay, yeah, that makes more sense. He said, well, we have the game after you. He said, so you stick around and see the game. I said, okay. So I stuck around to see the game. Now, like I told you, being a city ball player, you can see us one-hand pass off the dribble. Not this team. Mechanic, two-hand, pass, two-hand, pass, jump shot, feet, set, up. I mean, every
all the mechanics.
All the mechanics. So I'm looking at this thinking, like, how am I going to fit in with this team? But eventually I ended up going.
You end up going.
Now, the interesting part of my start with SMU, that summer, went through all the orientation, everything I needed to get into the school. Coach said, look, we're going to take care of your dorm room. I said, okay. So I didn't worry about it. I thought they had it. Time to come and, because I got the notice and said, okay, well, you got to, and if you're going to your dorm, you check in this date. So I got there the day before. No dorm. I'm homeless for 2 months.
2 months?
2 months, bouncing around different places.
Oh, man.
Not going to tell you where one of the places I stayed, because if NCAA ever found out, we'd be in trouble. But anyway, I'm bouncing around, and then I ended up at a boarding house that these 2 attorneys in the city of New Bedford bought out. So they had 16 rooms, all college students lived there. So finally had a home of my own.
Finally.
Now, after being there 2 years, the first year did okay. Second year, I just kind of let loose. Beginning of the year, I was like number 3 in all New England Division III in assists.
Okay.
I was getting right up in the Boston papers.
Wow.
And so we were 7-1, had the best start in school history. Our leading scorer at a Christmas tournament went down. Severe sprained ankle. He was out for about a month and a half with that sprained ankle. We kind of played 500 ball until he came back.
Yep.
But then I started hearing from the other coaches. I'm glad you're gone. We don't have to play you anymore. Why did you come here? I'm like, what do you mean? They recruited me. They were like, well, what about the other schools? I said, what other schools? He said, so nobody else recruited you? And I'm like, okay, where are you going with this? It's finally one of these coaches, I think it was a coach up in Worcester. He said, you're a legitimate D1 prospect. Why are you here at this Division III school?
Right.
And so I kept hearing this from other opposing coaches. Finally, I went to my coach before practice one day, and I walked in his office. I said, Coach, I've been hearing this, that I'm a legitimate D1 prospect.
Mm-hmm.
He said, yeah. I said, okay, if I'm a D1 prospect, why did you just, accept me here? I said, why wouldn't you tell me back then? He said, well, I didn't want to take a chance on losing you. He said, to be honest, I didn't think we had a chance of you coming. And I said, so maybe that's why you never took care of my dorm room. That's why I was homeless for the first 2 months. So
they probably were like, oh, he really came.
Yeah, I'm a legitimate D1 prospect, and I'm homeless.
Wow.
Go figure that one out. So,
Wow.
So then when I started hearing that, then my teammates were talking to me in the same tone. Look, you need to stop passing this ball, take over this game. I'm like, okay. So I started doing that, and but I mean, at that point, it was more toward the end of the season.
Yeah.
We weren't going to a tournament because we weren't in a league, so
Right.
we were an independent, and it was tough getting into a tournament at that point. So, but but it was interesting that I finally hear that. So my coach asked me, "Why did you come here?" And I said, "Well, you recruited me." He said, "Yeah, but what I know we recruited you, but what was the selling point?" And I said, "Because you had a gym."
Oh, man.
And he said, "Because we had a gym." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Coach, you didn't do your homework." My grade school, no gym.
No gym.
We played Bunker Hill. Carrington was down the street of Bunker Hill. High school, back then Sacred Heart, because we were over here at East Main and Woken.
Mm-hmm.
No gym.
No gym.
Practice at the Generali School.
Oh, man.
And our home gym was Crosby.
Wow. Y'all shared the home. So y'all shared the home gym with Crosby. So was this all the way up until the
It was all the way up until Sacred Heart moved into the Armory.
The Army, right?
And then there was something that happened in the country, so they had to move out of the Army. And then there were donors that came and put up, the tin can that they had down there on South Elm.
Yeah.
So, but Sacred Heart never had a gym. Post college, never had a gym. Home gym and practice was Kennedy. So all those years I never had a gym. The last 2 years of college was when I had a gym.
Wow.
And he said, so you came just because we had a gym. I said, well, if you had asked me, I would have told you, but you never asked. So I just kept it to myself. So,
Wow. Let me ask you this though. Let me go back a little bit. You said that Coach R.I.P. Reggie O'Brien.
Yeah.
And it's we hear from like a lot of players that he coached at Wilby. And then you telling me, we heard that he, coached that Post and Wilby. I didn't realize he coached the girls too.
I think at first it was the girls and then Post, and I think eventually he became the boys' coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how was it being coached by him at Post? Like how was
he was tough. He would run you in practice, but he really just wasn't much of a play calling thing. He just let us play. He just, you guys know the game. If it was out of hand, he'll call a play or something, call a defense here. But interesting enough that when I got there, because I was playing point for him then, he let me run the show. So
okay.
It's just like a quarterback in football. Most quarterbacks were not calling their own plays, but he let me call my own plays.
He let you call.
I had a great year. I was like assist leader in junior college. It was amazing. Back then, Naugatuck Valley was known as Matatuck.
Yeah, that was like
college. And
that was a heavy hitter
they were
prep school.
They were averaging like 110 points a game. So,
Wow.
now, like I said, I'm known for offensive fouls. I drew enough offensive fouls in that game against Mattituck that I had to go see a chiropractor.
Get out of it. How did you guys do against them? Because they always had kind of like a tough team.
No, they beat us, but they thought they were going to walk over us. Jay Say was on the team.
Jay Say.
Yeah.
Now he's a will be great.
Yep.
Back then.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he was on the team. Matter of fact, when I would try to draw offensive fouls, he was the one that yelled to his teammates. He said, "Look, stop it. He's going to drop. That's all he's going to do is draw that offensive foul on."
So, we kind of went from your junior year. We danced around your senior year, but your senior year, you transitioned from the point guard to small forward, or was you still?
I was both.
Okay, you
Point guard and small forward.
Okay.
So I played small forward on defense, and I played point guard on offense.
Okay.
So you got to remember the other 5'10" guys were about that big.
Ah, man.
So I was the only one that had some meat, so I had to go mix it up on the board.
Now, was that a challenge though for you at that time?
Big challenge. I mean, because I'm playing against some heavy hitters there.
Yeah.
But I had great coaching, so I held my own. I really learned how to box out. My senior year.
That was gonna be my next question. Like, how do you contain against someone that might be 6'4", 6'5", and you're 5'10"?
Rugged. You just tough.
Rough
and then so being that rough. So now I'm building a name for myself. So they know when they come up against me, they're gonna have a fight.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna be in their face.
Yeah, definitely. So when you think about your high school career, what are some of the, what would you say your strong suit? Like, what was your, when people say they have their bag, what was your kind of your go-to mechanics that will always bail you out of any bind on the court?
My passing ability.
Okay.
And that followed me all the way through college. But I was one that could make a pass pretty much anywhere. Talk about threading a needle. I mean, it was absolutely amazing some of the things I was able to do.
Yeah.
From a passing standpoint. Matter of fact, my last year of college at SMU, which is now UMass Dartmouth, I was on a fast break. It was a 2-on-1 fast break.
Okay.
One of my teammates, I'll never forget, his name is Jim Regan up there. I took the fast break. I had a guy on my right side that was ahead of me. But I took a quick look and I saw Jim sprinting on the left. So the guy that, they always teach you when you 2-on-1 fast break, you go back to the middle and then you take the first pass. Hopefully somebody's coming down
on the other side.
Yeah, to take the next pass. But as I came down, I went with one hand and went toward the guy on my right, but I kind of snapped my wrist like this. The ball just rolled off, bounced, came up. Jim Regan sprinting, just caught it later right in, and the crowd went crazy. If ESPN had SportsCenter, that would have made it. But
now, is that something that you just kind of did on the fly, or that's one of the things that you would do?
No, just on the fly. I wasn't thinking about it, and and a lot of players would tell you that they didn't think about it. It just happened.
Just happened.
And so when I made that pass, it was against the old Boston State, and Boston State eventually folded, and they got absorbed by UMass Boston.
Okay.
But at that time, they were a big power then as well. But when I made that pass, because the game was being covered by Providence stations, by Boston stations, and New Bedford TV stations.
Okay.
So I got back to my room that night, and they were talking about, Southeastern Mass defeated Boston State today. And
that was like an upset, though.
Oh yeah, that was a big upset for us. But their leading scorer was this guy named Boo Rice. He was like 5'7", and but he was like built like a brick house. So
Yeah.
but he was averaging like close to 30 points a game.
Wow.
Until he got there with us.
Till he got there with you.
I held him to 14.
Oh, 14?
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that number too. But we had a great game, and that one play, that pass, ended up on the Providence station. They said, "Look at this," and they played it back 2 or 3 times. And I'm sitting in my room in some boarding house with 16 rooms, all these students.
Yeah.
So they're watching on TV, and they come down to my room. Guy, did you see yourself on TV?
Did you see yourself?
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was that my last 2 years at UMass Dartmouth were great. Interesting though, when I got recruited from Post to go there.
Yep.
Reggie O'Brien put an article in the Waterbury paper.
Okay.
I still have that in my scrapbook.
Oh man.
He said in that write-up, just a small statement, I have never seen a player so adept at drawing an offensive foul like Guy Riddick.
Wow.
I was like, man, and,
Wow.
And that's what I became known for, is drawing an offensive foul.
Wow.
So it was great. Oh man.
You said something important too, when you first started talking about your point guard ability, when you talked about you wanted to get them where you wanted to get the ball to them where they wanted it at, where they felt comfortable.
Right.
And even like when you listen to players of the NBA, when they're praising other point guards or other players, they're like, no, because he got us the ball right where we wanted it. Like, LeBron is gonna get you the ball where you like to shoot. Okay, he gonna whatever he do, he gonna make sure you have it right where you can, you can catch it, and you can either score, you can kind of like make an impact, of the game, But I think that's the point guard's mentality and the ability to be able to, number one, you're getting everybody involved, and I think too, the point guard has to know the feel. Obviously, you're the coach on the floor, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to have the feel of the game, and you have to have the feel of your teammates too.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because some players, if you go up and down that court a few times and they ain't touching it, they're gonna start soaking a little bit or lacking. You got to feed them. Like, how do you keep everybody fed and happy at the same time? Well, or content.
First of all, you have many different personalities that you got to deal with.
Gotcha.
As a point guard, I had to get to know each player individually. And it's not just starters, but I'm talking about everybody on the bench as well.
Everybody, yeah.
So I had to get to know all these personalities. One in particular, I told Jeff Smith at Post.
Okay.
Point guard ability does not stop on the court.
Okay.
A true point guard. And Jeff, if he watches this, he'll attest to this. There was one day I was watching Jeff referee a WNBA game.
Okay.
And there was something that wasn't right. So I hit him up on Facebook, and I said, Jeff, I saw the game you did last night. I said, something's not right with you. What's going on?
Mm.
And he called me. He said, Guy, you could see that? And I said, yeah, what's going on?
Wow.
He said, no one knew this. I said, what? He said, my brother passed away.
Mm.
He said, I had just found out, and I had found out just before I left to travel to that game. He said, I just wasn't myself. I said, I could tell.
How could you, so how was you able to read his body language?
It was just
something. You're watching it on TV.
I'm watching on TV. And there was something in his body language, just certain things, and there was just something in him. I said, no, something's not right. And he said he could not believe that. I said, first of all, I turn on WNBA games just so I can see if you on there.
Yeah.
So I said, because I want to hear. I said, did Diana Taurasi talk smack to you today? So, things like that, and we would joke around like that. But he literally told me. He said he could not believe that, and I said, look, this is how it was when we played together. You always talk about the passes I made. I said, I had to look in you guys' eyes before the game to see where you were at. And I said, you know, if you weren't right, you know, I had to adjust sometimes my game to get you the ball where you would need it. Because I said, normally you would run hard and I give you the ball out here. But if there's something going on, you're going to want it back here.
Gotcha.
And those are the things that, you know, true point guard is going to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Not all of them will do that. Now, one in particular, you think about somebody like Magic Johnson. Those no-look passes, like when he was throwing them to Worthy. Look at where Worthy's catching it.
Yeah.
He's literally catching it in stride, and then that Statue of Liberty.
It's almost like perfect.
Yeah. I said that's what was needed, and that's why I prided myself on. Now, as the true point guard that I am, that I feel that I was, my last 2 years of college, I am the only point guard in that school's history that has 3 teammates that have scored 1,000 points.
Wow.
No one else in that school has done that.
So you fed 3 teammates enough to get
1,000 points.
Wow.
Now, I was only there 2 years. Now, they probably scored some more, you know, before and after. But a good chunk of them
came from you.
Came from me.
Your assist.
Yep.
Wow, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's something to hold your head high too, because
Oh, yeah.
the proof is in the pudding. You got your 1,000. You know, not all of it, but I contributed to a nice portion of it.
And I know 2 of the players in particular. I've talked to both of them since. One, Stan Benson, the other was a guy named Bobby Gannett. Bobby said, he said, Guy had the best pass. He said it point blank. He got you the ball where you could do damage with it. And we were actually on a call together for something, and he said, you know, you came in at the right time with this team, and he said it was just unbelievable what you did. And but now being a city ball player, you know, like I said, the one-hand pass. There was one day in practice up there, and one of the other teammates tried to do that. Threw the ball right out of bounds. Coach stopped practice. Listen, only one that can do that is Riddick.
Wow.
None of you can try that. He said, you do it mechanical. Pick that ball up with 2 hands, pass that ball, bounce. And I'm like, Coach, why you want to?
He said they can't even try it.
Yeah, why you going to call me out like that? Now you're going to have my teammates all over my case, you know?
Oh, man. Wow. He said none of y'all can try it. What would you say, from the high school and then in college, but what would you say was like your best game in high school?
My best game in high school was my sophomore year, at least scoring wise. My sophomore year against Watertown.
Okay.
I didn't play the whole game. I may have played, you know, because it was 8-minute quarters. I probably played maybe 14 minutes that game, but I had 17 points.
17 points in 14 minutes?
Yeah, I got hot, and I was just letting it fly. And Wilcox, who was the other guard, he was a senior.
Okay.
And he was under me in scoring that game. So I guess him. That was our last game of the year.
Yeah.
So the regular season. So they kind of fed it to him, let him get his points. So.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind it, but I was that was my best game scoring wise.
Scoring wise.
My best game leading the team was our win over Crosby in the state tournament my senior year. That game for me was just I had not. I think I ended up with maybe 6 points, something like that. But it was just the controlling the game, getting everybody in the flow, keeping Crosby off balance all night long. Now you got to remember, Crosby's got an unbelievable point guard in Johnny Kidd.
Okay. That's the year you went head to head with Johnny Kidd.
Yes, and Johnny Kidd. Now I didn't play him on defense because I'm playing power forward.
Right.
But Johnny Kidd was unbelievable.
Wow.
interesting enough, he was recruited by Central.
Okay.
I got a letter from Central, and I knew Johnny Kidd was going there. I threw the letter away.
Really?
Said that first of all, I knew if Johnny Kidd was going, I'm not going to get no playing time.
Okay.
You know? And then also, I mean, we weren't like best of friends, but I had such respect for him that I was not about to go up there and try to mess up, his shine. So I said, no, let him go ahead. And that's why I ended up bouncing around the way I did. Now, my best game in college was my senior year at UMass Dartmouth, SMU, which is UMass Dartmouth now. My parents, as you know, my father used to own that grocery store.
Okay.
They closed the grocery store early, traveled up, which is like a 2.5 hour ride to the school in Massachusetts. And when they got there, I was so happy to see them, because I wasn't sure they were going to make it. Because they told me they were coming, but they never called.
Yeah.
So when they showed up, I was happy, took all these pictures, everything. I ended up with 29 that game.
Oh, man.
12 for 14 shooting from the field, 5 for 5 from the foul line.
Oh, man.
Now, if you ask my wife will tell you that's not true because I shot foul shots like Shaq. But I said, no,
not that night.
Not that night. No. That night, the wrist, the hand, everything
was working.
In. So I had no idea that I had 29.
Wow.
And after the game, my teammates came and told me, and I'm like, get out of here. I said, I ain't hit that many. They said, no, you only took 14 shots. And I'm like,
and you made just about all of them except 2.
Well, one of them I missed. It was a half-court shot at the end of the first half.
Okay, so it's like a heave.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I missed that. So if I didn't take that, it would have been 12 or 13.
Wow.
The school has this record that they keep for best shooting performances. Things like. I would have made it if I didn't take that. If I didn't take that half-court shot.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Wow. What would you say, probably like one of your worst games, or when you faced the most adversity? We all had those games that we want to forget. Like, man, I wish that game never.
Well, I know the one that I did forget was Middletown. It was
okay.
It was such a blowout that nothing we did worked, and it was just. It wasn't just me. It was
no offensive fouls, nothing.
No offensive fouls, nothing. I mean, it was just it was like I said. We showed up, and that was about it.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. So that was one of them.
Yeah.
Now, did you have like any, if you could recall any like tough moments in college?
There was one tough moment. I forget the guy's name. There was, in college, I played against this team, Bridgewater State. They had a guard that had transferred in from UMass Amherst, which is an A1 school. Tight game. At one point, coach told me to call timeout. I went to call timeout. He tries to steal it. I pulled it up, and I ended up coming down on his back.
Oh, man.
He jumps up, ready to fight, and he looks and saw it's me. We just talked a little bit, fist bump. We went to our benches. His center, 6'7", all arms and legs. His name was Al Howard. What you doing to my boy? And I'm like, look, you ain't even part of it. Go to the bench. He said, no, man, no. Next thing I know, he reached over like 3 or 4 people, grabbed my forehead, and threw me backwards. And I said, that's it. Both benches cleared.
Wow.
My teammates and my coaches are trying to stop me, and I'm moving each one of them one at a time.
Yeah.
And I got up in Al Howard's face, and he said, your behind is mine after the game. I said, you do not have to wait. All of a sudden, and I'm standing at half court, this little arm comes and whap under my neck, dragged me from half court down to the baseline, spun me around, used some expletive words that, ministers can't use now.
Yeah.
Said, use your head, we're winning. It was my wife.
Oh, get out of here.
We were dating then. And I'm like, look, I got this. So I go back out in the game. Like I said, it was a tough game. We ended up winning it. But there was Al Howard that I wanted, and they had another player, I don't know who he was, but I forget his name, but he was drunk during the game. You could smell it.
You could smell it.
And it was one point in the second half, I saw him line up at the top of the key, the lane widened up. I'm playing my guy in the corner, and I saw that. I sprinted, planted my feet, drew an offensive foul. Now, like I told you, I'm a student of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You ever see somebody come in for an offensive foul? Like the guy on the floor that draws it.
Okay.
He does that acting job and falls
Right,
back.
right.
But the one that's going up for the layup or whatever, the first thing they want to do is put their feet on the ground.
Yep.
So being a student of the game, I used to watch that.
Mm.
9 times out of 10, when they put their feet on the ground, their feet would land like in between your legs.
Yep.
So when this guy came into me full steam, his foot went right between my legs, but instead of falling back, I sat down first on his ankle.
Oh, man.
And then fell back. And then it twisted it even more.
Oh, so he's done.
He was out the rest of the year. His coach thanked me. But when that happened, I jumped up and ran to Al Howard and said, go help your boy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could count the 3 and hear the scream.
Yeah.
Now, that played out, I forgot all about it. After the season, you have all these little tournaments all over these different places. So I was in a tournament in this town, Fall River, Mass. But I'm in what's called an under 6 foot tournament. It was just
so everybody was 6 feet.
everybody
Under 6 foot.
They had to be under 6 feet to play in that. And
Okay.
we were in the championship game. I'm playing center.
Well, you was used to playing forward anyway,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
okay.
so it was no big deal. But when we finished, we lost the game. So I'm coming out. I'm dating my wife, so we're heading out to go back to New Bedford, and Al Howard's coming in because he's playing in the Open tournament in the championship. I didn't realize it was him. He walked past me. He said, "Hey, what's up, Riddick?" And I just looked, and I didn't know who said it. So I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And I just kept walking.
Yeah.
So my wife says, "Do you know who that was?" "No, who was it?" She said, "That was Al Howard." Now, my wife's from Boston, and so was Al Howard, so she knew him. Well, she knew of him. And she said, "What did you do?" I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "He's walking like his tail wagging behind him, like, what did you do to him? He's like, he's afraid of you." I said, "Oh." I said, "When we get back to my room, call my brother. Remember the game and I drew the offensive foul on the guy?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Call my brother." So she called him, and my brother said, "So the player that he drew the offensive foul, he got hurt, right? He was out of the game?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "That's the only one the guy did that to that year?" And Pam said, "As far as I know, yeah."
Yes.
I guess nobody else got under his skin. So she was like, "You did this on purpose?" "Yeah."
Yeah.
Now, as a minister, I can't
Disclaimer,
say,
you was young.
Yeah. Well, see, like my boys always said, "Dad, I wasn't a minister always." So.
Right.
But that was one of the roughest because, a center coming at you 6'7", you think he's going to do some damage.
Yeah. And you got to protect yourself too.
But see, after that game, they had to go to their bus.
Mm-hmm.
I went and sat by the door that they had to exit, and I waited for him to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he came out.
You was ready.
Yeah, and when he came out like this, and he just walked.
Yeah.
My wife was like, she had no idea, but now she does. So.
Right. Well, so just kind of like recapping, if there's any gems that we can give some of the younger generation of today, especially about being like enhancing their point guard skills, what it takes to be a good point guard, like what are some intangibles that you have to embrace? What are some of those things you would, kind of like share with them?
The best thing to do is look at some of the point guards that are ahead of you.
Okay.
Study what they do. And when I say study, it's you have to watch their game to see some of the things that they do on the court.
Right.
Even some from opposing teams, not just your own
Not
team.
just your
Look
own.
at opposing teams.
Right.
Because when I was coming up, like the Knicks, you had Clyde Frazier.
Mm-hmm.
He was the man. you
Yes.
know. There were certain ball players that I would watch, and I would watch how they would get the ball off to different people. And the Knicks back then were a great passing team.
Oh, yeah.
All unbelievable team. So, and that's the kind of game that I always wanted to play. So, if you make a great pass to someone, it becomes contagious.
That's right.
And if you think about the Celtics with Larry Bird and Bill Walton,
They could pass.
and all the passes that they were making
Yeah.
to each other, and some of the other teammates with McHale and all, they were all. It became contagious. So everybody wanted to make that pass.
Right.
But for me, I could get in a zone passing where others could get in the zone shooting
Okay.
and scoring. I could get in the zone passing and no one would know it because you're not paying attention to
Right.
that pass.
Because you're not thinking he's scorching you, but he's low key scorching you from another angle.
Yep, exactly. So it's you have to study that. Now the other part of it is you've got to know your teammates. You got to know their strengths. You got to know their weaknesses.
Absolutely.
If like your center, you don't want to give him the ball 3/4 court and have him dribbling down.
No.
You want to get him the ball where he can do some damage. So those are the things you really have to be a student in. And the point guard, he's the general on the court.
That's right.
And there's times your coach can call a play, and there have been many times my coaches have called a play, and I overruled and said, "No, this is working right now. We doing this." And
Because you got to feel it too.
yeah,
Got to feel it. Wow.
So one of the things we never talked about back in high school, which is the best thing in Waterbury, we used to have doubleheaders. Friday, Saturday nights. The doubleheaders, they would start at 6, and it was always, some
The featured games.
big games.
Yeah.
And I mean, the crowds that we had, they're usually at either Crosby or Kennedy.
Those are the two biggest gyms. Well,
yeah.
we'll be kind of big too.
We'll be after the fact.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll be, they came after the fact, but Crosby and Kennedy were the biggest doubleheaders. And I mean, you talk about like crowds.
Wow.
We're talking like 5,000-6,000.
Yeah.
Packing.
I believe it.
Packing into the palace.
I believe it.
And I mean, the standing room only.
Yeah.
But it was like the most craziest time. And
Wow.
But it was like there was so much energy in high school basketball then. It was unbelievable.
Everybody came out. It was kind of like must see because think about it. You guys had a lot of great talent playing at the same time, especially when you're having those double headers. It's like, all right, you got two teams playing in the first game, but you know about 6 stars on that one.
Yep.
Then you got two teams playing in the final game, and you know about 4 or 6 stars on that one. So everybody, when you come in, you're not leaving.
That fed Pearl Street.
Gotcha.
And Pearl Street, because of those doubleheaders and everything that it generated, now you get these big name players coming into for the not the high
for the
school
summer
league, but the open part of the summer league.
Yeah.
You had players like Sly Williamson that played for the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy from Northwest Catholic. We knew him as Rocket. He played for the Lakers for
Foster.
Yep.
Rod Foster.
Rod Foster. Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I played D on him.
Ooh, how was that?
And he was gone.
They said he was wicked fast.
I mean, ridiculously fast.
Wow.
Wes Matthews. You had Warren Harding coming up. You had the New Haven schools, the Bridgeport schools, the Hartford schools. I ended up playing a lot of pickup games after I graduated against Michael Adams.
Michael
because-
Adams.
from BC.
Okay,
Because
okay,
he's playing
okay,
BC.
okay.
And so it's one of those when you get to those pickup games, when you get out there, you know he's going to win because he's not coming off the court. So I'm playing D on him, and he's calling every foul he can possibly call. And I'm like, so I just I give him the ball. I said, look, I don't care. I said, this game is going to last a while. He said, why? I said, because I'm going to D you up. I need a good run. He said, why? I said, I just need to sweat. I said, I need a good run. So you and I going to work today.
That's right.
And then after that first game I played against him, he said, where'd you go to school? And I told him, he said, you're not from Boston. I said, no, because we don't park the car in the Harvard Yard. And I said, because you're not either, because you're from Harvard. He said, yeah. I said, no, I'm from Waterbury. He said, really? So that's how we kind of connected a little bit. Every now and then I would come out there. He was like, look, he said, just hang out there for me. He said, we're going to come off. You're going to run with me this time.
Okay.
So it was interesting though. But I mean, that high school, the high school game, because it generated so much fanfare that it started to draw, and it fled over into that Pearl Street League.
Definitely.
And then you had somebody like Hubie Williamson that ran that. And
R.I.P. Huey, man, a great man, and you know he like that Pearl Street, man. You don't know how just that league alone how it changed so many lives, like generations of players that went through those Pearl Street doors. It changed their life, you know, and just even with on the competition level, you know.
There was one year that Hubie adopted the slogan.
The switch.
Not the switch. That was always there. Switch is a summer sound.
Yeah.
But he adopted the slogan: "Education first, basketball second."
Okay.
So you had to turn in your transcripts, have passing grades in order to play in the summer league. And if you didn't, Hubie was going to make sure you got into summer school at whatever your school was.
So he gonna put you in summer school.
He was big on that. So either you were going to their summer school, or he was going to have summer school for you.
I think you was telling me this. Wasn't it an overseas team that saw that system?
The Yugoslav junior national team was trying to get one more game, and they saw this model, and they called Pearl Street to schedule a game, and so they ended up putting together high school all-stars.
Wow.
Bruce Johnson, John Burris, Daryl Parker, that whole crew.
Oh man.
You know, that came through. They were part of that game. Now, I'm already out of college.
Yeah.
So when I came, my brother was doing this talk show, Gifted and Black. We covered the game, and we did a whole spread for the Gifted and Black show just on that one game.
Just on that one game.
But it was amazing time. I mean,
wow.
We were just it was awesome what was coming out of this city.
Wow, I can imagine that, you know, and you know, just even back then, when you see like a lot of these guys that end up being professional players, but they came through the Pro Street realm, you know what I mean? So it's like think about how much that fed the city. We got players that you can strive for. Oh, John Williams was here, or you know what I mean. Now it's like, okay, now you putting in work. You see him putting in work now, but you can keep striving for better because you see better coming to your city, putting on the show. So and you know it's real.
Now, when Pearl Street, the original Pearl Street Summer League, was held at Orange Street Park, and now you go by Orange Street Park, there's nothing there.
Nothing.
But at Orange Street Park,
it was big enough. It was big like that.
Yeah, Orange Street Park was big. Matter of fact, Clyde Frazier came to Orange Street Park.
Ooh.
And back then, the high school player that was the absolute beast was Johnny Booker.
Johnny Booker.
And Clyde came out his car, suit and everything, talked to the fans, and everybody wanted to see him play. So he's like, "No, I didn't bring my sneakers." He lied. They were in the limo. So he went back in the limo, changed his clothes, came out, and he played, and with some others, but specifically against Johnny. Johnny got a few in on him. So
Oh yeah.
oh yeah. So I mean, it was, that's when Pearl Street started to take off, and when Clyde came, it lit a fire. So
Wow.
it just kind of blossomed from there, and then so we left from there. We were at the Square Park for a while.
Yep.
Then we left from the Square. Then we go up to City Mills, and then they left.
Oh, they played at City Mills.
Yep. And then they left City Mills, and then they went up to Lakewood. And see when they were at Lakewood, that's when it was absolutely huge.
Ooh, because you got people all up at the top. You got all on the top of the hill.
They had stands both sides. They had people up on the hills looking down.
Yeah.
It reminded you of like Rucker Park when Dr. J was there.
Yeah.
Like they all on the bridge and the school and everything. It was
like that.
Oh, we had crowds and the players knew, do not drive to Lakewood.
Oh, how you gonna get out of there?
You can't.
How you gonna get out of there?
And then find
and then walk to it.
So I can see, I'm used to just walking everywhere anyway. So we weren't that far, so I just walked everywhere.
Wow.
But eventually, as years went by, it was a little bit different. But when it was big, after the game, forget trying to get out of Lakewood Park.
Nah, it's gonna be a while.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I thank you for sitting down with us, and you spilled some gems. A lot of information that I didn't even know, being a native from Waterbury, and having different people come in and tell their story. But so just like for you to give me more gems on top of the gems that I received throughout the years of people telling me, telling the history lesson of Waterbury itself. But I thank you for enlightening me, and gracing us with your presence. And I want to thank you for the work and dedication that you did when it mattered. When everything was when it counted, when it was on the line, really. When the basketball was counted, because we were striving to go to the next place. So you're gonna study, you're gonna practice, you practicing bouncing that ball to make sure your guy get it in the perfect position so he can score. You're practicing different drills. You're giving it your all in practice, all for it to pay out so you can keep elevating to the next level. Mm-hmm. And then ultimately, and I tell people this too, is we use sports as a springboard to life, to further our life. Sports is not the end all be all, but it's a part of life that helps spring. Because think about it, when you play in sports, so many relationships you build just on playing on the team, or playing against someone, or just being in that element of sports. Mm-hmm. So it springboards a whole different realm and outlook of life that breeds life into us. And then we're able to breed it back into other people, give it back to the younger ones. Yeah. So I thank you. First, I commend you for the work that you put in when it mattered. And I thank you for sitting down with us today, giving the gems to the younger generation. When they hear this, they can say, wow, and just think about, how you said you got your passing ability up. That someone can hear that and say, I got a wall in my backyard. Mm-hmm. I'm a point guard. Why don't I do that 1,000 times a day and
you don't need much.
You don't need much.
I didn't need much space. And see, now those things that I did, I could hear somebody like Mark Jackson saying, yes. Mama, there goes that guy again.
There goes that, yes.
Literally.
Yes, exactly.
But that it was, it's one of those and it's one of those things that, I always look back at like when Michael Jordan talked about in that series, The Last Dance.
Yes.
There's a respect for the game. That respect for the game is not just on the court,
right?
But it has to be carried off as well.
Absolutely.
Everybody makes mistakes,
for sure.
But still, there's this respect that you have to carry that forward. And it's now I look back and I see some of the relationships I've made. I mean, my college coach, I was still like
Yes.
talking with my college coach. And we're back and forth a lot. He sees pictures of my grandson. He's like, he said.
Yeah.
He said, "You got that ball in his hand?" I said, "I even got him a UMass Dartmouth shirt."
Yeah.
So, all those relationships that I've built over the years, it's paid dividends
Definitely.
in my life, because there are people think that all of this you do by yourself. You cannot do it. It's just like raising a child.
Absolutely.
It takes a village.
It takes a village.
So-
Absolutely.
And that's throughout all of life. So.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Well, on behalf of the Run It Back crew, we'd like to bless you with a token of our appreciation.
Thank you. Uh-oh. Now I got my sick of heart. Oh, and you got my number. Oh, my goodness. Let me turn that around so we can show the camera. Whoa! And the name on the back. Now I don't have to go make this up because they're closed. So. Now, interesting. You see that number, right?
Uh-huh.
You know where that number came from?
Where that number came from?
What famous player wore 42?
42. 42.
There was a movie titled 42.
Oh, Jackson.
Jackie Robinson.
I mean, Robinson.
Jackie Robinson.
Jackie Robinson.
I did during Black History Month in Sacred Heart, I did a report on Jackie Robinson. And I fell in love with that. Now, like I told you, I started wearing the number 12. My junior year, I picked up 42.
You picked up 42 your junior year.
And never let it go. Only I couldn't wear it at post because somebody else was wearing that number.
Wow.
I had that throughout. Sacred Heart, and my last 2 years at UMass Dartmouth. And everybody like, "You're a point guard. Why are you wearing 42?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my reason.
Nice. Nice.
There was also this young lady that I was dating back then, who was now my wife.
Yeah.
And I would find her in the stands, and I would look at her and I would give her this,
Yeah.
and she would do this.
Uh.
That was our signal.
Oh, that's the
And
signal.
even on Facebook, you'll see her, when she says some good things about me, she'll end it with 42.
42.
And everybody like, "What's that mean?" I said, "That's her way of saying I love you." And so whichever one did the 42 first, the other would respond with the 2.
With the 2. I love you too. Wow.
So now, okay, everybody, now you know.
Now you know what it is. Well,
But now,
thank you.
How'd you find out about the number?
Just one of the things I asked you early on.
Oh, okay.
And I always,
Yeah.
I jot that down.
Yeah. Wow. This is nice. Let me see. Oh, good, 2X, so I know to fit.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Well, it was a pleasure. I thank you. Any last words you want to send to, the followers, our listeners?
The only thing is, what we had for high school basketball, just pray that it would continue. We've had some great ball players come in over the years, even graduating and doing great things even now in this city.
Yes.
Clay Johnson's retired from police force. Jay Say was one of the assistants at Sacred Heart before they closed. Countless others that have, gone on to do great things in the city. So it's not just the basketball in the city; it's what they're doing afterwards.
That's right.
And that's the key. A lot of people don't know Judge Maurice Mosley was a decent guard in his day.
Okay, I've heard.
And he may be one you want to bring on.
Yeah.
But there's so many great people, and it's like you said, the game helps propel you into other things further in life, and
Absolutely.
and it's amazing. And I tell you, one of the joys that I've always had when I go back to UMass Dartmouth, and at any point, my coach Brian Baptiste, he would have me come and every now and then speak to the players,
Mm-hmm.
and tell them what you're doing now. So I talk. So I tell him where I'm at, and he said, no, tell him about your weekend job. And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I'm associate minister at Grace Baptist. And then they're asking all these questions. And I'm like, how many of you go to church? And they said, none. I said, okay, well, we're going to have to work on that.
Right,
So
right.
that's my opportunity.
Exactly, exactly.
But,
Well, I mean, I thank you for sitting down with us again. It's a blessing. And for my listeners, we're signing off with Reverend Guy Riddick, and I'm Eric Lewan. Thanks for tuning in for another history lesson of Run It Back. Stay tuned. So long.